All right, I'm just going to test this out. I might have to switch. I might have to switch the camera if this does not, if the latency's bad, but I wanted to test it out. I'm just gonna look at it here. See if it's working. So the latency here seems pretty good. So it might be worth keeping it on. I should see what it looks like on Twitch. Anyone on Twitch right now? Twitch. Sorry, this is kind of boring, isn't it? Twitch.tv. Mega. I can't tell if this setup is... Oh, it looks like it's working here. All right. So I'm gonna try to screen share with Adam. Hey, how's it going, Josh? I'm gonna have to just bear with me for a sec. Is the latency okay on Periscope and Twitter there? Or is it not quite right? Let's take a look at what the let's take a look at the old activity monitor here. Switch to here. All right. So most of my memory is being taken by, we can close some of this stuff. Man, Chrome is terrible. And then Ecamm Live is taking most of my... What's going on here? How come this isn't closing? All right, everyone's saying it's looking pretty good. Cool. So I'm gonna try to, let's see if I can get, should we try to see if I can get Adam on the line here and have you folks hear it as well. Might not work. I'm gonna try to run tuple at the same time, but that might be too much for this old MacBook Pro. Okay, that's what Adam says. Okay, so I'm gonna try to call Adam. Okay. Are you here now? Okay, I can hear you. Let's see if folks at home can hear you. Can you talk again?
Hello, hello, hello.
All right. Yeah, that's good. They can hear you. All right, and I'm gonna try to share the right screen here. How do I, can you see just a blank screen or you can see a messy screen?
I see a messy screen.
Oh. How do I choose the... How do I choose the... Oh, I got to do it over here? Share this screen. Here we go. Okay. And you should just see my text editor then. Do you see my text editor?
Sure do.
Okay. Sweet. All right. So this is Adam Wathan, and he's going to try to help me. What we're trying to build today is something that looks like, I'm not sure if I still have the other one open, but basically a landing page for, yeah, here we go. I'm hesitant to bring anything over here because it's just going to crash my whole system. A landing page for podcasts, basically. So when people open the link up on their phone, they will get, it's actually surprising that it's not showing, should be showing like Overcast and other things here. But basically a little screen like this, but if you are on the desktop, it would show something like this. Where is it? Sorry, this. So I don't want to steal this design exactly, but you know, it's responsive. You folks get it. And I think I'm going to put this, you know, one thing I should do at some point is just set up a Netlify something or other for these little projects, because I think I'm just going to put this on our Statomix site. Let's just call this share, and we'll create a new file called index.html. And I guess the advantage is that I can use the, where do we have, where is that? Default. Where's my actual? I'm just looking for the way I have this set up in Statomix, because I've got themes. Where's the actual layout file? Oh, here it is. Oh, except it's all. Wonder if I can. Do you understand what I'm trying to do? I'm just trying to link to the Statomix, the CSS and JavaScript stuff that's already generated.
Yeah, let me see here. So
if I go to marketing.transistor.fm, I should be able to just view source on this, right? Can I just grab it from here?
Depends what you're trying to do. Like, you just want to link to.
I just want to link
like,
to this.
Is this going to be in your Statomix project or no?
No, it's just going to be an HTML file.
Sure. Okay. So then I would just, yeah, like you're doing right now, it's fine.
Okay. I'm going to put that in there.
We'll have to be a little bit careful because, like, see how there's like that v equals whatever at the end?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That won't matter in this case. This will actually work fine. You'll have to add the fully qualified URL to the beginning of that href though, since this is going to just be like not on the same site.
It is though. I'm just gonna I'm gonna put it on the same site.
Okay, but you're just building it as like a completely isolated HTML file for now.
Yeah, I'm just putting it in this folder.
Okay, cool.
Nobody will know. And let's put some other just basic whatever in here. Sorry, I should have had this done beforehand. This is just going to be super boring. Let's see here. We'll call this share, or yeah, view your podcast. And anything else I need in here? I think that's it. Okay, so if we're gonna build this, let's just put a body tag in there. All right, so now I'm set up. How does that look to you?
Yeah. Now there's no JavaScript, but I don't think you'll need that for.
No, I don't think I'll need it. Yeah.
You probably don't need like the H full.
Okay, so this will give us
I
height.
usually do min H screen because H full doesn't always like give you something that's the full browser height, but this will always make that element like a minimum height of whatever the person's window is. And if it needs to
Oh.
be bigger, then it will be bigger, but
I wonder if I should change
it
this one
probably
here
doesn't
too.
matter here because the site is taller than any screen. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's only really
Okay.
an issue if you're trying to do something with like a background color and you want to make sure that the background color always fills the screen no matter what.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we got that. Anything else you'd change here before we get started? I have to say that these little tips here make using Tailwind so much easier to understand.
Yeah. I think this is probably good. The only other thing that I usually do on my sites, but if you're not doing it on your other other page, you might not want to do it, is I usually add the anti-aliased class, which makes the text look a little bit nicer on Retina displays.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Maybe I should do that on my other one. Might as well
All
improve
over
too.
it, what you'll notice is everything looks like a little bit thinner.
Okay.
Depending on how you've done things, might not look better, but it might look better. Hard to say.
JMD, this is Visual Studio Code. All right, so back here, I'm guessing we're gonna want to start with a div. How do you figure out what class to do initially?
Well, I mean, it depends on what we're trying to make, right? So usually what I do, I have like a reference design open.
Yeah.
And I'll start by just like creating the structure with no classes based on the elements that I know I'm gonna need. And then
Okay.
once I have that kind of skeleton in place, then I'll add the classes.
So let's say we want to do something like this that has a sidebar, but when it's in mobile, it's just a one column view.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's going to be different is that when we might have to write a little bit of JavaScript for this, but when it's viewed on a phone, I want it to show different buttons than when it's on desktop.
Yep.
So on desktop, it's going to show these, but on mobile, it's going to show like Overcast and other things.
Yeah. Yep. No problem. That is.
So let's
we're
use this
probably
as
not
a
gonna
reference,
get-
yeah.
We might not get there today, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would start by building
And actually, to make it simpler, let's just make it a one column, like let's make it a centered column on desktop, and then on mobile, it's always one column. I don't need any of this craziness either.
Okay, that wouldn't have been the hard part, but
Okay.
okay. So let's just figure out kind of what you want to have. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to just like basically take this design and implement the same
Sure.
stuff?
Sure.
So let's figure out like what the pieces are first. So we have like, do you need this menu at the top, or can we skip that for now? So it's got that little.
Yeah. No, we don't need a menu.
Okay, so we need an image. So let's start by just adding an image tag. And if you
Which one are
have
we
it-
adding? This one or this one?
The podcast cover.
Okay. So we're gonna just put this in this div.
Yep. So I would just throw in an image.
Okay.
Also, here's a VS Code tip. Delete what you just typed
Okay.
and just type IMG without any brackets or anything, and then hit tab.
What the heck?
Yeah.
It's
I'll
a
save
it's
you
a whole
some time.
this is a whole new world, Adam.
Yeah. Yep.
If you teach me how to do all the shortcuts though, these live streams are just gonna be a lot less interesting for folks.
So if you want to grab a URL to like the Build Your SaaS podcast or something, or some other podcast cover, whatever you want
Yeah.
to do there.
Yep.
And then underneath that, alt tag, I guess, important. And then it looks like they had, I think you sent me a screenshot of this on Telegram, so this way I can kind of just look at it.
Mm-hmm. I can.
So then we
send
got
you
like a little bit of text content under that,
Mm-hmm. So you want me to add like a?
like a p tag. So you can just do p tab. Oh no, never type the brackets, man. You never need to type those angle brackets. You don't need
P
those
tab. Oh, here we go. I'm getting it. All right, and it's probably actually
Yeah,
not all.
so
that
just cut
text,
that
but-
down to like a sentence.
Okay.
And then this like little form thing. Are you gonna do
No.
that?
No, I don't want that. I just want this section here.
Okay, so let's add like a div underneath this p tag, because like conceptually in my head I think of this like listen on desktop with these buttons as kind of being like a group. Buddy, don't type the yeah, there you go.
Oh man. Okay, so here we go.
And if you want to do the divs even faster, and like say you knew you were going to add a class to a div, like say you were going to add like bg tran dark to a div, right? If you
Mhm.
just type dot bg dash tran dash dark.
Okay, hold on. Let's go. So you want me to go back here?
Yeah,
Dot.
if you just type dot bg dash tran dash dark, like that class, and
Yeah.
then hit tab.
Whoa.
So it's smart enough
Wow.
to know like anything you type with a dot is going to be a class. Like here's a really crazy one. Delete that line.
Okay.
Now actually we'll start simple. Say you did like p dot text dash lg tab. So this is going to give you a paragraph tag with the text lg class, right?
Mm.
Now even crazier, delete this line
Okay.
and now type ul, then like kind of like a forward chevron, like a closing angle bracket, like an arrow, then type li,
Okay.
li star, like asterisk 4 tab.
Wow.
There we got it.
Crazy.
Yeah, so lots of useful little like HTML generating shortcuts.
Sweet. Okay, so
So in this case, we just need a div though, so you don't need the dot.
how did we do that again? Just
Div
this? Yeah.
tab. Yep. And then in here, I would throw a little p tag, I guess, for like the listen on desktop text.
I gotta keep forgetting how we do this. P tab. Okay. Listen on.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
And then I would move that p tag to its own line, because we're gonna add some other stuff in here. And I guess for now we'll just make these all links. So just
Okay.
do like a tab. And I just throw like a pound sign in here, like a link to nothing basically, until I know what the URLs are going to be. And then just put
Mhm.
in whatever you want there. It's like iTunes. Then if you
Yeah.
want to duplicate this line, which is what I would do,
Mm-hmm.
so just like
Is it-
right after you typed iTunes,
Yeah.
put your cursor back where that S is. So this
Yeah?
is what my workflow would be here. I would type the S, and then I would not touch my arrow keys. I would just hit Command Shift D, I think. Now you might have different Visual Studio shortcuts.
Oh, wait.
Yep,
I
so
just
that's
did
not
some-
the right one. So
Command,
hit Command
Shift.
Shift P and type duplicate. Just curious if this is. Oh, it doesn't show up. That's too bad. So I don't know what the default shortcut is. I
Copy
have
line.
everything-
Oh, it's this. It's Shift.
Oh yeah, Shift Option down.
Shift Option down. Let's try that.
Perfect. Hit Escape. Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Oh, that's
no.
just I'm just selecting it down. That's no, that's the thing I
Yeah.
figured out the other day.
It might just be Command D.
Let's try it. Command D.
No. So I don't know what the default duplicate line shortcut is. That's unfortunate.
Figure it out. So you just don't like using your mouse. That's the whole thing.
Oh yeah, definitely don't use your mouse. Oh, it looks like it's Shift Option down.
Shift Option down. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Sweet. So then this would be like whatever. Pocket Cast. Shift
Yeah.
Option down. All right. Nice. Oh, I should use that little that crazy Keystrokes Pro thing. Although this is really
Oh,
gonna.
yeah, you can use that. People can see. Actually, you can do this built into VS Code too. Hit Command Shift P.
Command Shift P.
Yeah. And then type screen. Toggle screencast mode. Hit enter. Yeah. And now type. Just type
Oh
some
my
stuff.
God.
Yeah.
So this has got it built in. Oh, that's super annoying.
Yeah, it's a little bit in your face for sure.
Oh my God, yeah, because that would be like, okay, I gotta get
So
out. I gotta get.
Yeah, just disable this. Get it out of here.
Wow.
The other
Okay,
one
so
is
now,
maybe a little more.
yeah, this one's cool because this is like, it only shows. I think I've got it set up so it only shows multiple. So Command Shift D. Oh no. How did I
don't
do that
see it
now?
on Tuple, by the way, so it might be showing on your other monitor or something.
Let me. But what was it? Option Shift D. Now I can't remember.
Option Shift down.
Option Shift down. Oh yeah, it's not showing up.
Oh well.
Oh, maybe I broke it. Appearance, position, show key combinations only. It's not working. Sorry, folks. All right. So what now?
All right, so now I would just like check what we have in the browser.
What's the shortcut for viewing this in the browser?
We'll make sure that it's saved, and then you might need to like start a server.
No, I can just load this somewhere. I'll just do it this way.
Yeah, it might just be like. I'm not convinced this is gonna work. I think your CSS link is gonna be broken.
Okay. Well.
Like, do you have your Statimix site available at like some .test URL? Because you have
yeah.
this. In
Yeah,
there,
so, yeah, Transstat. Yeah, let's just try Transstat share. See if that works.
right? Your directory structure.
I just put it right in the root of.
Yeah, so like none of those folders are accessible, right? Like no one can just type /site/database/ Justin's database password.php and see everything, you know? The only thing
Yeah,
that's visible is stuff in the public directory or stuff that's like wired up through Statimix routing.
Oh, here we go. No, it is. It's working.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's just. Let's see if this works now. I think I didn't have it saved. Now that it's not linking.
No, this is wrong. This is like you're looking at just the file, but the CSS won't be loading here.
Yeah, but I can. Why can't I do that?
Because it's trying to load the CSS from /site/whatever, which means it's going here, So it's going to the root of your hard drive to try and find the CSS.
Well, I'll just load it from marketing. Like if I go,
You'll need to know like the relative path to get this to work. Yeah, or you can do it from the internet.
yeah.
So this is kind of what I was saying at the very beginning.
All right, let's see if this works. There we go.
Yeah. All right, cool. In business.
Yep.
Okay, so we got this div. This is gonna kind of be like where the thing that houses everything. So we're gonna want to give that some style. So looking at what we're kind of trying to mimic, I think we're gonna want to give it like probably just like give it a max width. Maybe not. Maybe there's a simpler way to do it. I would say start by let's give this image a size to start. So
Okay.
give the image a class. Maybe do like H48, W48. So we just have like a square that's, you know, pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
And just save that and go see what we have in the browser.
That work?
Can you inspect that and see if the classes are working? Where's the DevTools? Okay, no, there are no classes. Do you have Purge CSS set up on like the marketing site?
I think so.
So that's bad. So that means that these classes have been removed.
Oh.
So
Why don't we just use the default Tailwind? Can I still link?
use the CDN version, but then you won't have your transistor.
That's
background
fine.
color.
Whatever. No big deal. Where's the CDN?
Yeah, let's go to installation.
What a way to
Scroll to
view
the
the
very
web.
bottom.
All right, here we go. And where is it? Here. Okay. And I'm just gonna remove Tran Dark. I'll just make it.
Yeah, just make it like gray 800 or something. A
Oh wait,
gray.
that.
American spelling.
What the? This is your one chance to
It's
spread
my
our
chance to
culture.
show my true patriotism to the country I belong in. Where there's no
All right.
snow and all right, so it's a little distorted, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So go to that image. Let's set it to BG grade 900. 800 is too lame.
Okay.
And then for the image, we basically want to control the way that it's kind of like stretched. So
Mm-hmm.
if you add this class object cover to the image, what that tells the browser to do is don't stretch the image. Instead, just like resize it so that it covers this H48 by W48 space, even if it means some of the image is kind of like cut off.
Oh no way.
So that'll kind of give you probably the results that are close to what you want.
Oh yeah.
So you can see like part of this dude's head got cut off, but it's showing
did
the
a
full
pretty-
height at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
By the way, we're building right now. We're building this part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's what I would do is I would probably add like kind of depends like how you want this to work responsibly. Does this design, is it just the same on all screen sizes, or does the image ever get bigger and smaller?
When you say image, you're talking about the cover.
The podcast cover, yeah.
Let's
And
see
the
what
buttons,
happens.
like, are they just kind of locked to a certain same size?
Kind of,
If you just
kind of
set this
feels
to
the
like
same.
responsive mode up here, and then you can just like drag the sides, so you can kind of see when it changes. Looks like it's the same the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens
Yeah.
when it gets really small? So they have like a lot of padding on the sides here.
Mm-hmm.
That they're like, even here is like even crazier. But we can do a better job than that, I think.
Nice.
Okay, so head back to the code, and if we want to center this image, all we have to do is add a class MX Auto, which sets like the left margin and the right margin to auto.
Yeah. When MX Auto doesn't work, is that because the other div doesn't have a width, or?
Yeah, that's usually the case. Like if it's a full width div, then it's not going to work. But if you've given it a specific width, then it'll work, as long as it's a block level element.
Because
So it
in this
doesn't work
case,
on like,
this one doesn't. The parent div doesn't have a width, but it's still.
the image has a width though.
Okay.
Margin on the image.
Okay.
Yeah. So then for this paragraph, we're gonna want to like make the text probably white. So if we add a class to the lorem ipsum text,
But I already have text white right here, don't I?
oh yeah, so you don't really need it necessarily. You
Yeah.
do want to probably make it a little heavier though, so I would still add a class here because we're gonna want to do some things to it no matter what.
Yeah.
So I would do like maybe like font semi-bold, and maybe like text center, and maybe also like max WSM or something, and then also an MX Auto. So what this is gonna do is just like make sure that the text doesn't like go full width, like it's kind of like forced to wrap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of see what that does. Yeah, like that's okay. I think we can maybe make the podcast image bigger.
Sure.
Try like 56, 56. I think that's the next step.
Does this give me my options when I do this? Yeah, it should.
Should, yeah.
Yeah, okay, 56 next one, okay.
Yeah.
That's
So then
nice.
you can probably make the text a little narrower too. So maybe try max width XS for extra small width.
SS.
XS. Like
XS.
t-shirt sizes is kind of like the way these are named.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, something like that. So then we probably want a little bit of margin above the text.
Yep.
Push it away from the image. So I would like a MT6 maybe.
When you hear MT6 in your brain, does it automatically go 1.5 REMs or whatever?
Kind of. A lot of time I just think about it in terms of tailwind though. Like I just know that like that's kind of like a slightly bigger than small margin. So that's probably okay. Like maybe you could do 4 or 5 if you wanted, but we probably want to add some space above this too. So what I'd probably do is I would add like this div. I'd give this like some vertical padding to like kind of give that space. So maybe like a PY8 or a PY10 or 12. Just try it out and see what you think. Probably go a little bit more than that. Try 12.
12. Have you, since you've started working with Steve, seems to be the kind of thing that drives people a bit crazy when they're developers, is not knowing like, oh, does that feel right? Is a sense for space something that you've gotten since you started working with Steve, or did you always have that?
It's definitely helped working with Steve. I think like a trick that I like to use that has helped me is to try and start with like more white space than necessary. So kind of do the opposite of what we did here. Instead of starting with 8 and then working up to 12, starting with like 24, like fully knowing that that's going to be too much, and then like reduce it. And I think that's a good way to like force yourself to use a little bit more than you normally would.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of reduce it until it looks fine, and there's usually like a range, right, where it's like, oh, it looks good anywhere from like 10 to 16. So if you start at the bottom, you're always going to end up at 10, but if you start at the top, you're going to end up at 16. And
Yeah.
that usually leads to things feeling like a little bit, you know, airier, which is usually desirable.
Yeah, totally. I'm actually going to change this cover right now just because I want it to feel more like a real cover. So just give me a second here.
Yeah.
Let's do, how big is this one here? That's probably good. Okay, so I'm just going to replace this. There, okay. And I'm actually going to replace that lorem ipsum to call it my podcast. Cool. Okay, and what do you think we
Okay.
should do next?
Let me look here. I think that text depends on what you want to do. If you want to put the title there, like, that's fine. It makes it feel a little unbalanced compared to like what we're ripping off here, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, it's oh, these are the instructions. These are, here
Yeah.
they go. I'll put, add this podcast to your favorite player.
Yeah, something like that. I think period is fine, or even no. Yeah, so in this case, like, we kind of got an orphaned word. So here I'll either think, okay, well, is this the width that I want for sure? If so, if I really care about like the design more than like the copy, I'll figure out like, how can I rephrase this slightly to make it a little bit longer so that I get better wrapping. Or if I know that this is exact copy that I want to use, then I'll just make the container for the text a little bit smaller.
Yeah, and actually, I'm already kind of feeling like I want like oh wait, I gotta do your thing. H3, well, this should be an H1 because it's the
H1
first.
for this page, yeah.
And so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna use real names here. And actually, I'm gonna use this too. This is gonna screw up our color scheme here, but shit, I just clicked on the wrong thing here. Okay, I'm gonna change this image. And build your SAS, and then I'm gonna make this, I want the font size to be, how do we do that again in Tailwind? No,
Almost.
text size?
Text dash some size, yeah.
I think I want it SM. Okay, and then I'm gonna probably need to make this MX Auto, right?
No, in this case you'll want text center because MX, the H1 is a block element, so it's full width.
Okay, actually I want this to be bigger.
Yeah, so that's just like
Okay.
the default size, so you don't even need a class for that.
I want it a bit bigger though.
So LG.
Text large. And I'm going to add a bit of padding top.
I don't think you want padding top on this. What are you trying to accomplish?
Wait. Oh, padding bottom, sorry.
No, I would do margin top on the image.
Okay, and why is that?
So, I like to use margin top and margin left instead of margin bottom and margin right, because margin top is changing the position of like the element that you actually put the class on. Like when I say give margin top to this moves. Whereas if I say give bottom margin to this, it moves the image.
Yeah.
So either option is fine, but if you force me to choose one, I kind of like the one where the element that I'm adding the class to is the element that's affected. You know what I mean? Instead of it like affecting something next to it. Just seems like
Yeah.
a little bit easier to trace
So
why something is where it is if all the things affecting it are right on it instead of like things around it affecting it, you know?
that's really helpful, actually. So you're thinking top and left. That's where you add stuff.
Yeah, because that moves that element instead of the neighboring element.
Yeah. Okay. And I want. Okay. I actually want. This is nothing. I want this to be XL, and then we did. What did we do? We did semi-bold before.
Yeah,
If I do bold, wait. How do I do? No,
font
it's not
bold.
bold. Font bold. Okay. All right. How come it's so small? This is XL. Did I set?
No,
Oh, I
that's
set.
right. XL is not that big. The big ones
So
would be like 6XL.
6XL.
You know?
Okay. So I can go, but I can go 3XL. Is that the
Yep.
thing? No. Oh yeah,
Yep,
it is.
3XL.
Okay.
There's XL, 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, 5XL.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
This
not
is only like.
stuff.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm already thinking I'm gonna go add this podcast to your favorite player, and I'm gonna actually I would remove this. Oh,
Sure. And just put the buttons like right there.
yeah. Add this podcast. Add this show to your favorite podcast app.
Sure.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, do you want to build some buttons?
Yeah. So I'd probably do like
Can I add a?
yeah, add a margin top here and then add like probably a max width to this as well.
Okay. Oh,
So
max.
try like max width, probably XS, because you don't want it to be wider than that text. You might even
Yeah.
want it to be smaller, and then add MX Auto.
MX Auto.
And then I would add a couple classes to each one of these buttons to get started. So start by yeah, just doing like a multi-cursor thing if you want to save yourself some time. So if you undo what you just did, I would select like the quote hash quote, and then
Oh,
hit
yeah.
Command D a few times.
Yeah. Wait, was it Command D or wait? No.
Pretty sure it's
Is it?
Command D,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and then just hit right,
Right.
like the right arrow space.
Oh wow. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh wow. Okay.
So now
I've
you
done
can
this
just-
before where okay, I've done this before, but I didn't know you could. Okay. This is great.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So
So
now you
now
just do
class.
class equals, and then I would do block so that they're all like full width,
Okay.
and maybe like start with like PX4, PY2 or something. So we have like some padding around the text. And probably do text center so that the button text is centered. And maybe like BG. I don't know, what color should we use for these buttons?
Let's use this yellow.
Okay. And just
I might
see
wanna
what
make
that
the
looks
text-
like.
Make
Yeah,
the
you probably want,
color.
Probably want like text like yellow 900 or something, or
Text yellow 900.
and that might not even be dark enough. You might just end up wanting to do like, I don't know. We'll see. That's not too bad really.
Yeah.
So then for every button except the first one, I would add some margin top.
Okay.
So the easiest way to do this is select like this group. That's what I would do. I just kind of like, I find like a hunk of text that I know is like unique throughout the
Mm-hmm.
document, but like reused across the elements I want to select.
Yeah.
I would do the margin at the very beginning. Doesn't really
Okay.
matter, but like the order that I try to use for classes is um, in order of things that like have the most effect on where other things are in the document to things that like are totally isolated. So like margin top is like that's like pushing things around on the screen, so it's kind of like the thing that has like the most direct impact on the layout. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
like something like a box shadow doesn't change anything about like the actual page layout. So I put that like at the end.
Yeah.
So that as you're kind of reading it from left to right, it's going sort of like in order of severity. You know what I mean? In terms of
Yeah.
like highest impact. Um,
Yeah. That's really helpful. Those are the things that I'm always like in my head when you have confusion about the structure. You're always like, how does this actually? How is this supposed to work? You know.
yeah.
Um, I'm gonna add some. I'm gonna add rounded now just because I want to see what it looks like. Oh wait, I gotta add it to
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah. Select everything. Yeah, yeah. Yep, yep.
Uh,
Exactly. That's enough in this case.
and then rounded.
Yeah, just go with regular rounded to start, probably. And like an average amount.
And I'm gonna
See what that
change
looks
the.
like. Yeah, put a couple of other apps there.
What's another one? Player FM.
Winamp.
Winamp. Sweet.
So I would probably make the text like bolder since the color contrast isn't super crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna. I think I'm gonna change this anyway. So down, 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 down. I'm gonna change this to. It's gonna go like gray. Oh, frack. That gray is
For
gonna.
the background color, like you're
I
not
think
gonna
I'll.
use the yellow.
Uh. Oh no! Wait. I want to. Oh no! You're right. I'm doing the wrong thing.
I wouldn't use gray text either. It's gonna look a little funky.
What
I
about
would,
just
if I was
black?
gonna do anything, it would be black or like orange 900 because like that'll still kind of like fit. So just
Okay.
yeah, Command D all of those. You don't need your mouse for that either, but that's fine. Orange 900 will be a little bit darker than the yellow 900 was.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go black. Okay, and then we want to make it. You think text
Try like
semi-bold?
font semi-bold, yeah.
Oh, how do you? Oh,
So the way to
what's?
remember it is like font is for anything that actually uses a different font file, if that
Yeah.
is helpful. So you know how like a bold font, you'll have like, Proxima Nova bold.ttf, Proxima Nova medium.ttf, like you get a separate file for each one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
Sweet.
You might even want to just go like a black background if you're going to use black anywhere, then I would just, because like right now we've got this gray 900 background, which is kind of like, it's kind of meant to be the black color, but like
Mm.
if you're going to go full black, then you probably want the background to be black too.
Hmm. Although now, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Be a little aggressive, but
Yeah.
that's kind of
So
on trend these days.
you think? But you think? Do you think I should have just gone for something that matches this a little bit more?
I think when you put gray on a color background, it clashes. Like it looks weird. Um,
Hmm.
like you almost want like um, black with like a reduced opacity or something. You know what I mean? Like you don't want.
Can
It,
can you do that? You can do background.
you can kind of do that. Like try. Well, what are you trying to do right now? Change the background of the site, or
Well, is that what you were saying? Is that you think I should reduce the
sorry, I
background of
meant
this?
for like the text. Like if you didn't want to go like
Mm.
black on the text, to
Mm-hmm.
me like you want like yellow 900, or if you want even darker than that, then you probably want to do like black with like 75% opacity or something, which
Hmm.
is doable, but we'd have to do you have to add like a span inside of link to do that.
Okay, let's try. Oh wait, I gotta.
Text orange 900.
Yeah, let's try that. We never did try that, so.
Yeah, see what you think of it.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so now we got our buttons. We've got
But yeah.
that's basically it, hey? And then I'm going to have to use media queries later on if I want to hide certain buttons and show certain buttons.
Kind of depends. Like, do you want to do it based on the screen size or based on?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it. Do it based on the device, because if it's Android, I need to show different buttons.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a little trickier, but
Yeah, but I can figure that out. There's like that's just media queries with JavaScript, right?
I've never done it before. Like, I'm sure there's some JavaScript library that like you can ask like if Android do this, and under the hood it's doing some weird stuff like checking, some metadata about like the browser, like, oh, like the way that you do this stuff in CSS a lot of time, like to detect certain browsers, is like checking, oh, does it work when I try to use this CSS property that I know only IE supports? That means we must be on IE. You know what I mean? It's very like indirect. It's sort of like sneaky checking.
Yeah.
So there's probably some decent library for kind of like adding a simple layer on top of all that gnarly stuff, so you can just like ask, is it iOS, and it'll return true or false.
Yeah.
And then of course you
Yeah.
should use Vue for all this. Just don't tell John. Good.
Then I'll be good. Cool. Well, is there anything else you think I should add to this? This seems pretty good to me.
If I was gonna make like any tiny little tweaks, I would probably like do a little bit less spacing between the buttons, like maybe like a 4. Yeah, so just
where
like
did I
select these.
Oh yeah, it only starts with the.
Yeah, with the second one. Just careful you don't over select yet, and then just do right, delete 4.
Oh wait.
Oh, that's left, but you can still get there. Just hit right a few times.
MT4.
Yeah. See what that
Man,
looks
those
like.
keyboard shortcuts are gonna save my life.
And then, yeah, I think that's probably okay. The only other thing I consider is like, since this text is meant to kind of be like connected to like these buttons, usually I would make like the space here bigger than the space here, because you want it to be clear that like these are attached, because right now it's just kind of like directly in the middle of these two things. So you can either like reduce this space a little bit or make this space a little bit bigger. But
yeah, I think I'll just reduce. What did we do with that? We did.
It's an MT6 here.
Oh
So
yeah.
you could do 4, and that'll make that a little bit less. Yeah, something like that. That's good.
How do we do hovers with
Yeah.
Tailwind
So if
again?
you go to the buttons and just like highlight, just grab like all the BG yellow 500s. And hit right, space, and do hover, colon, then just do like BG yellow 600, for example.
The only thing I don't like about that trick is that it doesn't show me my cool little
Oh, yeah. interesting.
IntelliSense stuff or whatever. Oh, nice.
Yeah, done deal.
Sweet, man.
Cool.
Thanks for showing me that. So
problem.
one thing I want to review in my head is, I think the problem I was having, or where I was getting stuck, was, first of all, like, how do I get started? And your idea was just you put the elements on the page with no classes, and then you just work from there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you taught me some keyboard shortcuts, which was very helpful. And then, yeah, I mean, that was the big thing, was just trying to figure out, how do I start this? And I think one thing with Tailwind that is tricky when people start using it, like noobs like me in particular, is like you're building all this scaffolding, and sometimes when you're looking at other people's stuff, you're like, okay, why did they start, like, this is your big container div. Why did they start with this, right? Like, why did they build this? And then anything that's nested underneath that, you're like, okay, why are they making these decisions? But I have to say, building it from scratch makes a lot more sense. Like, when you can see,
like going and seeing after the fact, like, why did they do this? Because it's probably some weird thing that happens when you get rid of it that's not obvious. You know what I mean?
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Thanks for your help.
Right.
I appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Okay,
Good luck
bye.
with the rest of it.
Thanks.
See ya.
All right. And yeah, how did that video and audio work for you folks at home? Someone was saying it was lagging a little bit on Twitch. Is that true? Did it just get too slow? Anyone else have this problem here or no? And just to remind folks, that was Adam Wathen, and that was Tailwind, which you can, it's just tailwindcss.com. That's the site if you want to start fiddling around with it. And yeah, you saw us using it the whole time. And Visual Studio Code, you can add this this add-on that gives you all of that. I can't remember what they call it. All of these Intella. Is this an Intella something? Which makes using it a lot more fun. Cool. All right. See you later.